To water. This is the first time I've actually done this in person. Commissioners excused include Gretchen Tulaba and David Meyer, and commissioners participating electronically are Lee Murray, Steve Sherman, and Esther McCullough, and Carol Herrick. Carol Herrick. Steve and Carol is supposed to keep all in it.
There's Elise. Where's Elise? Right up there. Elise, you're giant. You're huge. You're about 3 feet by 3 feet.
Why?
You're out of the screen.
All right. We actually have to establish that we can hear the people who are participating electronically. And so just like in with the text system, we have to establish that, but it was here the appropriate volume for the meeting room. So Commissioner McCullough, could you please state your name and where you are calling from or where you are? Esther, are you not able to hear us? How about
Now I've adjusted my sound. This is Esther McCullough in Sully District.
Commissioner Murray, can you state your name and where you are calling from?
I'm having trouble understanding you. I'm going to switch to my computer where you won't be able to see me because my camera doesn't work. But this is Elise Murray, and I will be participating from Vienna, Virginia.
Oh, it's the ball.
Oh, it's the ball. So when we have Commissioner Sherman with us, Steve, have you called in?
Yes, Steve Sherman, Franconia District in Franconia.
And Carol, Commissioner Harris, and you state your name and where you're calling from. Can you with us, Carol? I'm not sure. And Carol will join us later. And these are you on your other device? And you confirm that we can see you on your the device. Looks like she's on that. Probably gonna take a while.
Yeah.
It's just the promotion is everything here, everybody. We're for a minute, we meant this to be her. Yeah, we have to leave, but I'm obviously glad. So, all right, so Commissioner, please can just hear your voice to confirm that you can talk to your audible. Are you having difficulty hearing me?
Yes, I am. It says though you're far away.
Or is there an adjustment to this?
This is Elise. I'm back. I can't hear you either.
If I turn the volume up, it's an echo.
We'll work on it.
This is Elise. I've rejoined you. I couldn't understand you using my phone, and I still can't understand you using my laptop.
Yeah, because if they're using, there could be an echo. Maybe his microphone's being just. So.
Yeah, is it really, or no, it's really on? Well, no.
Hey, Russians.
So it could be that it was just for some outside of the. Pretend that's like the mind. And how close it is. That's an idea.
Okay, we're gonna try this, guys. Oh. I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
And the person with the news will, yes. Right, in the center on the mic.
Is that just a bit still, we're getting closer?
That helps.
Helps, yes, good,
And
okay.
then we also project one purposefully. Yeah. And look at them. Yeah. Well, and nobody's sitting at that. It's not program that will read here, so. We could shift. Next one. Okay, next one. So. So Lisa, that's better. Esther, is that better? Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you
Yes,
hear
that's-
me now? Can you hear me now on this one?
I can hear you.
All right. Yes, Steve, thank you for.
Just asking if anybody can hear you. Okay. Trying to take it off.
We can't hear it.
I'm communicating with her by text right now. Please.
I know, it's a lot. I don't have it like.
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. I'm glad.
Steve Sherman can hear you. I can hear you.
You won't be able to see me because my camera doesn't work this way.
I'm just on audio anyway.
I know, Steve. I wouldn't be able to see you anyway, but I can see Esther and I can see the rest.
Oh. But you know, everybody's like talking all at the same time, so it's like garbled voices.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't decide it. I signed back. I quit and came back in. I couldn't tell if anybody knew I'd come back.
Yeah, I can hear. But you know, I don't hear the roll call or anything like that. What are they doing?
We don't do a roll call, Steve. It's simply you're following the roll for you, for Elise, and for Esther. And Carol is there for Carol in order to assure that that communication was two-way, that you can hear us and that we can hear you. So Esther, can you confirm that you can hear us and that we can hear you?
This is Esther. I can hear you much better. Thank you.
Then I'm going to hand my gavel to our vice chair.
For the first time, you want to also about Elise again? Thanks. I haven't heard her here yet. Have you, has Elise heard you?
Yes. Elise, do you want to confirm that you can hear us?
I'm having a very difficult time understanding the words of anybody except for the chair.
I'm probably the only one who's like shouting.
So I'm going to try with this, but I may give up.
All right. Hopefully it'll sort itself out, and we just have to be mindful to speak loud enough for the room to hear us. So I'm going to move that the commissioners, Murray, Sherman, and Harrison. Oh, is Carol here now? Oh, Carol.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, so Carol, can you please state your name and where you're calling from?
McLean, Virginia.
All right. So,
Robert Beeks
oh,
and Jordan. And Jordan.
so Jordan said he was going to attend later. I don't know if you are they going to attend electronically? People may have already speaking up, so that's. And all I can get here from where the other. So, just for future reference, folks, when we have a meeting that's in person and you want to participate electronically, you actually have to make that a request. And you actually have to explain why. Not in any detail, but you do have to say whether it's for health reasons or for personal reasons, because there are limits to the number of times that you can do it for personal reasons. And so, yeah, and because we don't do the roll call, it's a little confusing. Bear with us. We will sort it out over time. So is Bob each year or Jordan, I believe, is just going to the date. But I don't know if he's planning on doing it electronically or not. Bob, did you hear it all? Did you call in? All right, so it doesn't seem that they are presently here. So for those people who are here, which are Commissioners Murray, McCullough, Sherman, and Parrott, I knew that their voices may be adequately heard in this location. All in favor?
Aye.
Stephanie? Motion carried. All right. So given that Commissioners Murray, Sherman, and McCullough are participating remotely for health reasons, and Commissioner Herrick for personal reasons, pursuant to the district committee's policy for participation in meetings by electronic communication, I move that they be permitted to participate remotely in this meeting because it comports with the policy just adopted, and the physical quorum is present here at the Fairfax County Government Center, room 120. With really good food. Stay. Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone for your patience. This is the first time we're doing this, so very obviously so. We'll work now. Okay. It looks so easy. It's a board meeting the other day.
Well, they get better now. Oh, wait, let me say that.
Yeah.
You're all on.
I feel not hurt. It's not Christmas or anything. It's fine.
All right. Come on. With regard to meetings, I didn't have this in the agenda because it only occurred to me as I was dropping in. I'm going to assume, and for whoever is chair at the beginning of January, that we're going to continue to meet fully electronically as long as the emergency is in place, unless there's somebody who wants to change that and wants to make a motion from the floor to change it. Look at that, the suggestion. All right, then we can continue on. I motion to pay the clerk and to approve the minutes for November. I make the motion to pay the clerk and approve the minutes for November. That we Barbara. Sorry, now I'm the person who's running. All right, so all in favor, say
Is
aye.
there a discussion?
Is there a discussion of for the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, do you have an issue with Esther?
Yes, I'm wondering the section on page maybe 5 that lists the motion and how each of us voted. I'm wondering if it's necessary to put the way each person voted.
We did a voice kind of call for that one, I believe. Yes, because it was closer than usual. Um, So I don't know what the convention is that we observe in terms of that recording. But
Makes sense. To record it, but I don't know.
Thank you.
It's 12 to 7 with one.
so, actually, would you prefer that it just state the totals for and against rather than the individual votes?
Yes,
I feel like it reflects what happened with the meeting. So. What's Robert's rules? What I was going to ask you, you had an opportunity to go that one. I have a good stuff. Yeah, I have one too. I think probably concept you make that with a long discussion. The whole it's nothing negative about being there. I don't know. I'm just a quarter of the bunch.
So there's folks who are saying that that they feel that it accurately reflects what occurred during the course of the meeting, and that they don't necessarily feel the need to make, you know, to reduce
Thank
the
you.
amount. Just because I'm sure that you do have to speak out so that people can hear you. So do you want me to, is there any further discussion on this? So the motion is to approve the meetings, the minutes without any amendments unless, as we want to make, we have to.
Do we say also and pay the clerk? Is that a part of the motion?
So that's the motion that's on the floor right now, so we have to vote on that unless we want to amend it.
No, I do not.
Okay, all right. Then all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nays? Motion passes. All right, thank you. All right, and I think we look it up in Robert's there. It's probably a matter of whatever you buy, rather than making it tax. All right. Treasurer's report, Sue.
I think everyone has a copy of the report, and beginning balance is $70,797 that is paid the clerk and paid for the National Central Historic Preservation Conference, which I think some people were able to attend. Good. We have $70,132. Elliot will be paid in the next county pay period. I love the bureaucracy. Yes, I made it by one day. He submitted the motion that was originally posted, so he will get paid this year for that. The history conference account, we have there some of the expenses that I just learned tonight. We have some extra expenses to put in. If anyone here has history conference expenses, get them to me right now this month. There is a county rule that within 10 days of the event, all receipts now need to be in. So this is obviously more than 10, and I will explain and write the debt. I think we should be, you know, so we can let this straighten out and have that done this year. It looks as if we have about $70 remaining in the conference expense account, but that doesn't take the extra expenditure for some, awards and some printing. And, I'll try to figure out then how close we came to the $5,000 that, the motion was for spending this year. That's it.
And there's one that's carried on.
Yes, student deserves a round of applause.
Handling the monies and interacting kind of nebulously with what was happening with the county and who was doing what, who was on the first place. Quite a challenge, and you were ever present as the.
Well, I think it will be better next year when we maybe have a little bit more, people talking with each other and make practice.
They were doing a lovely, lovely job.
Staff reports. Amy, oh, that's me. There you go.
So November was a relatively quiet month for us, archaeologically speaking. We continuing lab work for the Riverbend Park project, and that is just going to take some time because it took us about 2 years to dig it. So it takes a while to hunt all the labs. We did have a quick project out at Spring Hill Rec Center, Spring Hill Park. The county energy Park Planning Energy Branch is working with the county agency on sustainable energy to sink geothermal wells so they get from the core of the earth, I guess, to feed Spring Hill Rec Center. So we went and dug some holes, not to the core of the earth, just a couple feet down. And that was one that we were glad we did not find anything so that they could move that project forward, and it's exactly what was happening. More exciting for us is the work that has been going on at Lakeview Lost Valley Park, that's in Vienna. And as you know, that foundation of that building has had some waterproofing issues for some time now. And we contracted with a great contract firm called Pay to do that work. They dug 18 5-by-5 foot test units around the foundation of the house. And they did define a small section of the original builder's trench. So when they built that foundation, the little trench that in there, including posts. This is only cool to archaeologists, but including posts in the holes for the posts to keep the rocks really straight. Sometimes I think my job is, it is very cool if you're me. But it does teach us more about the building and the construction of the building. They did also find 2 quartz projectile points. We know that there was a Native American presence at Lakeview Lost Valley, and this just adds to our understanding of that. And it's really cool. I added it to the pictures here. The Pamplin Pipe Factory in Appomattox County, Virginia, is actually again, I'm using archaeologists, but it's an archaeological preserve by the Archaeological Conservancy. This little outfit made pipes out of that Virginia clay, that red Virginia clay. They're famous for them all over the country. And I've never seen one actually out of a preparatory project before. We may have one in our collection, but this is the first time I've seen one that came out of a park project. So we're going to figure out who this little guy is. And as soon as I look at that, I'll let you know. Yes, I'm ready.
I'm fascinated. This guy, this the book. So when we're talking pipes, we're not talking water pipes, we're talking
Tobacco pipes. I knew you were going to ask me, Barbara. I studied just for a second. I think the earliest it could be 1835, and then I believe they were in making pipes through the 1920s and 30s. So yeah, a century's worth, right? And again, like you know, with archaeology, it depends on what this was found in context, but that will tell us a lot more. Stay tuned for next meeting, and I might be able to update you. Those of you who are retiring, I have your emails. I'll send you. It's true. That is true. I'm sorry to have missed it tonight, but I think we're in good hands with it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. As always, if the meeting goes on. Otherwise, that is my report.
And I believe, is that Sarah who's with us? So we have the report from the Heritage Conservation Grant. Is also.
I have-
It's Stephanie LinkedIn this evening. Can you all hear me?
I'm sorry, I saw somebody else's. face.
Hi, everyone.
Yes.
Happy holidays. And just a few updates tonight for the Heritage Conservation Branch. Under operations and maintenance, work continues at Drainsville Tavern to repair termite damage. Updates are posted on the Resident Curator Program website. For the Historic Sites Volunteer Corps, HSBC had its final event for 2022 at Marybrook with over 20 volunteers dedicating 100 hours to the property's landscape cleanup. Staff are currently working on outreach for local colleges and high schools for 2023. And then finally, for Resident Curator Program updates, preparations for interior renovation at Elmore Farmhouse are underway. And those are my updates. Are there any questions?
Hear me, Stephanie?
I can barely hear you.
Oh my God. How forlorn does Marybrook look? Last time I was out there, it was pretty forlorn.
Ooh, I couldn't hear that, Lynn. I'm sorry. What was that?
Describe how Marybrook's buildings looked when you were last there.
Oh, okay. You know, it's been a while since I've been out that way. So I couldn't provide an update on that.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right. Proceeding along, Chris, are you participating electronically? No, Chris, you?
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, so we don't have somebody online, because I do have one update from him. To see if we have.
Who's running the meeting? Electronically.
Oh, I am. What's the button?
So can you see?
Is there anybody from the?
Oh,
library?
it doesn't look like it. It looks
Okay,
like,
I
yeah.
can't, I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh, no worries.
And you didn't put my
Yeah,
glasses on.
that's business meeting.
Okay,
Okay, so the one update, the one update that Chris provided to me via email is that the Fairfax County History is digitized. Awesome. So available to all. So he'll share a link, I'm sure he'll share a link. It's on Internet Archives. So the book club starting in January, we'll have that.
So for the benefit of people listening in, the large Fairfax County History book is now digitized. So you can hopefully get a link and you can read that online and refer other people to it. And that's in preparation for the book club.
I think Chris had it in the works before that, but yes, that's great.
Fantastic. Right.
Chris did it at my request
Oh, did he? Great.
because I wanted to look at something in the history and my copy of the history is in storage. And I thought it was very unfair that other counties' histories like Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania were online, but Fairfax wasn't.
Well,
So
thank you.
Chris pursued it, which was fortuitous for Tammy's reading group.
Yes, fantastic. I'm glad you did, Elise. That's great. Way to go.
Thank you. All right. Laura.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all in person. If I didn't meet you yesterday, and it's a pleasure to be in person with you guys. The first thing I want to talk about is our continuing survey efforts. We are moving incrementally along in all of our projects. So we're working on survey plans. We're working on survey forms, documentation efforts, meeting with the state, et cetera, going through consultants, all of that. We're going to really kick it off in the spring. So I'm very excited not to be surveying in the winter.
Other items? Denise Dressel, former liaison for the History Commission, has been promoted to branch chief, so congratulations, Denise. Right now, they're looking, the higher powers that be are looking at the applications that came in for the architectural review board support position. And I assume we'll know in the next, let's say, 6 months. Okay, I'm gonna skip over African American markers because I didn't realize Mary's going to touch on that. The big thing we've been working on this month is something called SSPA, Site-Specific Plan Amendments. So the DPT staff, we've received 80 applications. And mostly what it is anyone in the county can request, basically, I'm gonna speak, hang on. Anyone can request a change in land use recommendations in the comprehensive plan. So what we're doing is we're going through 80 of these and making sure that the ones that are coming through, if they affect heritage resources, we have to make comments on them. And finally, big thing, great news, we have a ton of archival materials at DPD, and we happened upon a box of negatives from an historic resource survey of Fairfax County. I'm talking Fairfax County, 1980. And I gave you the sampling in your packet. These are literally ones I just pulled out and scanned today. Very exciting.
Places are.
It is, yeah. So it came with a full, like the old school photo log. So all of us do have names. Yeah, yes, so cool. For those of you who are online, the photos have also been uploaded to ShareFile. So it's just kind of a very quick sampling of things that I can pull together. But yes, they all will be labeled. They all have accurate locations. I don't know how many of these resources are extant, and I don't think it's a whole lot of them based on the 3 vernacular buildings that have. Do I, off the top of my head, I don't. Because it really was, I got way too excited and looking through them, and I had to pull 4 real fast. But we want to work on, the staff at DPT want to work on scanning all of them. There are 87 different contact sheets.
Oh, wow.
So there are tons of resources in here. So we want to get those scanned and get those to y'all, and they can be used for advocacy, because nothing makes people more passionate about their history than seeing what they've already lost. Any questions? I'm very excited about it. On it? Yeah. Oh, they were right next to it. Okay, like for all of us. Yeah, that was great. I don't have an end date for that, but we're working on it.
Anybody have any questions for anybody listening in electronically? Have questions for Laura for her, based on her report? All right. Thank you, staff, for coming out tonight and giving your reports.
Thank you.
And you're going to just a brief unfinished business. I mentioned that we have a draft agreement from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers regarding the coastal storm risk management feasibility study. I have to read that because it's actually longer than that. That is the short version of the final study. And I do have to sign this document. It is, I believe, as far as I can tell, just a document that says there's going to be a section 106 procedures. And unless staff have any reservations, or if anybody who has had the time to look at it, if you have any qualms, let me know. Otherwise, like, we sign it because we do ask to, and there's no vote for that, because we did vote already to participate in this process. So this is a, so the Corps of Engineers is planning on putting up a flood wall in Alexandria. It will affect potentially affect the George Washington Parkway. And so there's a section 106 proceeding. So, yeah, and it is complicated. It's a complicated thing because, nobody wants to have people's homes flooded, and it's not, it's not an easy. Yeah, it's a 68-page document.
Do that back to you.
No, I skimmed it a couple of times, a couple of days ago.
So Cheryl, this is Amy, from, Archaeology Collections. We were supposed to be a consulting party on this, and we are not listed as a consulting party on page 2 at the bottom. We've got Alexandria Archaeology, and that's great, they're good people, but we want to laugh at it too.
So I understand that, the architecture review board was also left off.
Yeah.
So, that we can definitely, like,
Great, thank you.
Our cover letter also says, instead of addressing the capacity, it addresses it those months of the memorial project. Which are.
Yes. Yes.
There were.
Yeah, there were a couple of things where you can see the cut and pasting,
Yeah.
Well, our names at the top of it, basically. Yeah. I wonder if it's, so those and stuff like this.
right.
Yeah, this is slide to be a long, drawn out process. There have been community meetings and very well attended.
People,
Good energy.
People are very concerned about, because they're talking about which side of the parkway these flood walls are gonna go on, and depending on which side they take the property. There are tennis courts and all kinds of other things that are.
Maybe there's small.
Yeah, so, well, I was gonna say this is further down, so.
It's one of the apartments.
But there could be something, right, there are apartments that are down there.
That's what I'm down the walls. Yeah, the part there, once the parts are very opposed to having the wall on the other side.
Right, and you talked about, like, I mean, I've been delving into the landscaping plans in the parkway was beautifully designed. So that's a whole interruption. Of not just, the roadway, but also so it'll be interesting.
yeah, it's complicated, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing substantive in this statement, property, other than.
It's just saying, who's.
Use on price, but it's in the lead, and this is what happens if you have a disagreement, and it's just outlined. Yeah, have to be about
And
yes.
this is review plan, so it's odd that we're not in this document, whereas we were part of the review
You all were
process.
in there before we were.
Yeah, I think so. So it's odd that,
Yeah, and they are.
I imagine it was just a clerical error.
But we'll make sure that we address that.
This is more preventive than, it's not even much. I mean, I know there's always wrong, but is this more of a preventive? Yes.
This area has flooded.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's not, it's a global warming, the expectation is that the flooding will become more increased and that. So it's when we prevent that. And there isn't, we're just very sure that. So to speak. All right, so I just wanted to run that by you and let you know that there is actually a document that we signed as part of that. That I only made this evening. Oh, I'm at the bottom there. It's like the last page.
Sharon, commissioners, if there's anything as we go through this process that I thought can help. Okay, walk you through, let us know.
New business is also about the section 106 proceeding. This one's a little bit easier. Maybe a shorter one-page letter about the project to expand to add express lanes alongside 495 between I-95 and Potomac River, which apparently is north on I-95. One of the reasons why I was really confused and kept putting this document down because I couldn't understand where they were talking about. It's 495 north, even though it's going east. And yeah, it's not really hard.
Springfield to the village.
Yeah, that's right.
There's Georgia, this is.
Mr. Locks and Bagels.
Um, Anyway, so these maps kind of just summarize a little bit better than the letter does in some ways. The area that we're talking about. I do have, if anybody wants to see the EDOT map, not the dot, whatever. There's the dot. So the question is whether or not we wish to participate in this section 106 proceeding.
That didn't they, Now that nice area building. Well, yeah, because Quaker Lane used to go from Alexandria. There are vestiges, there's a vestige of Quaker Lane next to the Burgundy Farm School that's there. And Burgundy Farm cultivated for instance, that's, yes. So I think it's appropriate for us to.
And my apologies for coming late, since 106 on the.
Or us,
Well, yeah, I mean, what's the agency and what's the other program?
Federal Highway Administration.
Be done.
And don't worry.
And it's, eligible property, that's the property.
They're just beginning the process. They haven't submitted that.
Okay,
Yeah, they must do it.
okay, so what they asking for, it to be, we must be some.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, there's a reason not for it.
Stay away, because people are
I wasn't even sure how much of Fairfax County was going to be included, because so much of it is Alexandria. So that was also the reason why I requested.
Well, that's the first time first.
It's the behind the
Part of the report on the. Downtown farm, the road. I think it was working with the student, stuff now, that we could do on time.
Yeah. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I move that we, respond to what they stood in the way, I would think that we, thank them for their offer, and accept their offer to be something for the. Someone else's title.
So, for folks who are, listening in, Jordan just moved that we accept the invitation to participate in the I-495 widening project, the cell project. And that was seconded by actually multiple people. And so now, is there any further discussion on the motion? Figuring that out. I'm sorry, go ahead. All right, hearing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor of George's motion, accepting the invitation to participate in the cell section 106. Section 106. Too many numbers. I'm talking small. In the cell project. In regards to the different room, yes, we do have. I have to respond very quickly on this. So all those in favor of participating in the I-495 cell project section 106 proceeding, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Any abstentions? Motion passes. All right. Eating cookies before the weekend. All right. So this one I expect is another new business item. And so I'm going to ask Lynn to take the gavel, so I want her to make a motion. So our bylaws state that non-voting advisory members may be appointed by the commission for a term of 1 calendar year, and they shall be experts in the field as the commission's work requires. Given that 4 commission members are retiring at the end of this year, that these long-serving members have valuable institutional knowledge, that they are engaged in projects that the commission, for the commission that are continuing into 2023, these commissioners have expertise important to maintaining continuity in the functioning of the commission. I therefore move that the commission appoint Mary Lipsey, Phyllis Walker Ford, Barbara Nate, and Barbara Peters as advisory members to the commission for the 2023 year. I second.
This is Esther. I second. Could you hear me?
That second. Oh, I'm sorry. We discussed it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's fair. So very.
Thank you.
And you know, about this, I guess I would think that previous assessment, I realized we would need using new thinking. Yeah, it's kind of rubbing off. I was sitting here, I have to carry it. It's like.
Madam Chair,
Yeah, there's no one there. I know, in that case, because I don't have.
Lynn,
Yes.
Lynn, I did not hear the result of the motion.
Oh, yeah, it's unanimous.
Oh, well, maybe.
With a lot of energy. You got the second.
There was a little back and forth because Barbara May was hesitant about voting for herself, but then we worked that out, so.
Oh, Barbara.
Barbara Peters, I did go, oh, I should have put this in a little Zoom else. Thanks. Imagine what else to go back. That's right. We didn't say it's southern.
It was more of a square.
I've got to say yes. Me too.
All right, so now we have done our unfinished business, our new business, and we can move on to our committee reports, which begins with our nominating committee. So I'm going to turn the gavel over to Phyllis so that she can conduct our elections.
Like for 123, Chair, Lynn Dotwall, Co-Chair, David Meyer, Corresponding Secretary, and Stunt, Treasurer, Sue Kovac.
Vice Chair?
Sorry, I copied the wrong vice chair. Okay.
So did you just make a motion? I have to. I do want to make this, I just. I'm going to be checking to be straight for, talking for the year. I second. What? I second. Okay. See, I was waiting.
So for folks who are listening, Barbara has moved to accept the slate. This is Lynn as chair, David as vice chair, corresponding secretaries and treasurers to collect the minutes. And that was seconded and discussed. Yes. Oh, yes, and stuff.
Yeah, no plausible title. My discussion is that I think the nominating committee would have been done.
Absolutely.
I think it was, we're discussing that. I have a question. So I thought that Fairfax County, the Fairfax that we not have.
That is not stipulated in the bylaws. I think we looked at that recently, and so every member of the commission who is a regular member has a vote.
Specifically on Fairfax, that is a regular. Yes, so I serve Lord on the packet.
Oh, yeah, six, and it is voting. Yes.
Okay, so, and I'm gathering yesterday. I love it, you guys, so you know, right? So, some of you really tease me about that a lot, my God. Okay. I may want to. And I'm taking that as. Okay, so it's become, very you all too. But I do want you to know that there's a lot of deliveries going into this, a lot of deliveries. I have often those, so. I'm going to pray about this. And, you know, I'm not being facetious, I'm really, gives a lot of time to touch that. And I realized that, you know, we've lost a lot of institutional knowledge in this life. So that helped propel them forward. And then I have already had conversations with all the people. So, and we had a wonderful conversation. And out of that conversation, we came to understand that the rest gifts we can give you, some of that's really mission, to the culture. So you'll hear from both of us. I know my role as vice chair, Michelle. I'm just excited. But anyway, do know that a lot of deliberation, a lot of care, a lot of intentionality went into this. We also didn't show us. If she sleeps at home, sleep on that. And so anyway, so yes, this. Yes, thank you. Thank you very exciting. It's a tremendous. So I did do some kind of. I heard you use the word. Oh, one year as a previous. Yeah, I'm not saying, for a lot of people, you're not changing. Well, we're not changing the title. We're just going to really co-part, do more partners. Yeah, of course, I don't person. Because I think, and this was what David's desire was all along, is to do some nice integration of the city of Fairfax.
Excuse me, but I can't understand a word that you all are saying. Did the motion pass? This is Elise. I can't understand anything anybody's saying. So please talk more clearly.
Okay, Elise, can you hear me now?
Yes, but I have no idea what you said for the last 3 minutes.
So I'll repeat myself. What I wanted to tell the commission was how deliberate, one, the committee was, and two, the thinking was to get to where we are tonight. And I did say that I had asked for a good week to reflect and really pray about what makes sense. I also became aware of how much institutional knowledge we would be losing with the four ladies that are leaving us. So that is how I came to say yes. And in a long conversation with David Meyer,
Sorry.
I thought I had the mic here.
so we agreed that we're going to pull the best of our own resources to make the commission be as strong as it can be, given all the changes and given who we and everybody else is. Did you hear that?
Yes, I could hear you. Thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yes?
Yes, that was helpful. I don't know what Subi asked.
She clarified the term vice or co-chair.
Thank you. May we vote, or did we vote?
I was just about to ask if there was any further discussion. Okay, hearing none, we're going to vote on the slate as presented by the nominating committee. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Abstentions? Opposition? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Congratulations.
Elliot's got a question.
Yeah, well, who seconded that motion? I just wanted to clarify.
Robert made the motion.
Do I have recorded? Thank you.
All right. Elise, do you have anything to report for inventory or budget?
No, I am continuing my progress in getting the budget numbers ready for you. The inventory committee will start fresh in the new year. And because I can't understand what's going on most of the time, I'm going to leave after this. The ARB meeting, I did not get a report to you, but it was a very simple meeting with 2 consent items and a workshop. So I'll give you the details next month.
I will, I've been neglecting the financial review committee, and I will address that this month and we'll get back on top of that. Sarah.
That's everything for me tonight.
At least there was a question about the 2019 and 2020 annual reports.
I'm not doing a 2020 annual report because nobody participated. I may finish off the 2019 report at some point. Is this necessary to talk about tonight?
No, it was just a question from the floor. I'm just repeating the question. If you couldn't hear. All right. Okay, continuing on, history conference. Thank you, ladies.
All right. First of all, I want to thank all of you that came to the conference, those of you that watched at home, those of you that did all the errands that had to be done to make the conference happen. For our first time after COVID, I thought it ended up being a very well-attended conference. We had over 70 there at the beginning of the morning, and then there's, the morning went on with us nutrition. I have gotten some feedback through my friend who has watched our website and our website email site, and very positive. People love the food, love the presenters. It really seemed to go quite well. I've asked for some lessons learned perspectives from those on the conference committee, but some back. We've got to watch the food situation next year and all of that, and obviously we'll have a chance to work out the whole financial situation. But overall, it was a fantastic conference to go ahead and be able to do it. So let me give you just a little sneak preview of this coming year. You know, we have talked, we have mentioned a nation of nations. Tom Jumpman will be our keynote speaker at the conference this year. And he and I first today, and I have asked, would he consider, would he think some of the people that helped him write this book would be a panel discussion? So there's some things afoot for the 2023 conference, which will make putting that conference together much easier. And when the conference committee meets in January on the 24th, so we'll need all the teams stuff set up for the 24th. We'll do lessons learned. We'll talk through this year and get as much put in place as we possibly can at the time. I think this would just be a fantastic conference. This is going to include our Asian population, will include our Muslim population. I think we can extend amazing to the conference. In terms of awards, that we're going to address this. What a delight it was to see how many of those young men from George Mason show up on that very side. It was just completely stole my heart. And we're so appreciative. So appreciative. And one thought is Dad. And really touching on the gift that they have given this county, that you all have given this county is just absolutely amazing. So, all I can say, commissioners, please make sure if things are going on in your district that we warrant and award, start thinking about that. Our deadline typically is the first of June. Another unforeseen circumstances, let's stick to that first of June. We changed it a few times because of COVID, but I think we had a nice turnout. And I was so happy to see Debbie Rose, so that we had a chance to sit underneath her on this commission. She is just a firecracker, just an amazing person. So that was really fun to see. Yes, I have to say, I was talking to her, we were talking with her. She was saying it was so nice to be back. And she said it was so wonderful to watch you on this show. And you do a great job. Well, we do, the whole job. And she says that I just wanted to let you know that she has missed that. And she said, it was so fun to be a part of all that. So besides getting an award, it was because it was you.
This is Esther.
Yes,
This is Esther. I wanted to compliment Lynn on her leadership and the way that she does get the conference done and a good presentation for the audience. I appreciate all that you do, Lynn, and the commission appreciates it too. They just don't say it as often. But for us to make the news, it was just wonderful. I looked and I saw my own picture. And I want to say to the commissioners, please support the history conference by getting the book and reading the book, if not in its entirety because of its size. Please read some of the books so you'll be familiar with next year's conference. And I thank you for the opportunity to be in the conference. Thank you.
Oh, Esther, thank you. You did a wonderful presentation too. And I'm telling you, that picture of you with the peach colored, coral colored outfit, you are rocking. Thank you. We did talk briefly about that. This also would be a nice book in the whole. So we are all associated. Still have some details to look at.
I have one question. So I know, and this is maybe not just an issue of previous years, I know we had some questions and maybe the county attorney was looking at our monetary awards. Was that all settled out?
No, because the county attorney never got back to us.
So we just did it anyway. Or did not do it in monetary?
Well, we were okay.
Yes,
The county attorney was okay with us doing it this year. But they were we proposed a change to the bylaws that was very straightforward, pretty simple, and they have not yet gotten back to us, and actually, so Laura, you could follow up.
Yeah, I will. I have to go back and check the records because I'm trying to remember whether or not it's back at the History Commission where you all have to vote on the change of the bylaws or it's still with the county.
Still with the county, unless I missed an email or something. Yeah. It's still with the county, but
I would like to see that settled out sooner rather than later. I still want to run into, you know, you're getting ready for this conference thing. So let's make that a priority for, you know, early.
so I proposed to the county attorney made a proposal about changing a paragraph that is basically a repeat of our resolution. And I said, and that we would and allow us to do the awards in that paragraph. As your, I thought that was problematic. Suggested that we just have a statement, a separate paragraph below that, that outlines what we do, where I said that we would, let's have a budget, and that we spend the budget, and that includes awards. And that, you know, and they just, I mean, I'm sure it's just a matter of different priorities. Like, we need to nudge them.
I wanted to just drag on the way the AAHI,
We should not.
I reach zero tolerance. So let's stay on top of it. Great, right.
All right, after AAHI.
And just time for conference.
That was magic.
What is stuff? What we're showing. For folks who are listening, Phyllis was just reporting that they're still awaiting one more aspect of who's going to be working at GMU to update the inventory, but that our MOU has finally been signed, so that agreement is in place. Was that it? Yeah.
So then, you know, I'm putting on a letter. What happens when both chairs retire on the same time? Very, very tough.
So that's one reason why we have the advisory. I made that motion earlier today about the advisory, so that we have some continuity, like, we will be having news,
So, okay, then that raises another question in my mind. I mean, the devil can continue to be in the world, but because they're being. So. So my question.
my phone number is going.
So my question is,
The bylaws.
when you all added this advisory council to do with write the job description for the license. I've been in there a long time. Not saying,
Oh, it's been there for a long time.
it just hasn't been exercised. It's not, when I was giving consultants, we go on institutional memory, we can come to meetings, but not declare anything. And we don't, but to participate at the committee level.
Yes.
Sure. They're not done with the many meetings yet. They're not.
So, okay, so my question is, how did the sunset happen? I mean, there's a fantastic example. So does that mean AHI is fully resolved?
It won't, I don't know what it's doing. And how does the update happen? How does the update happen? Who continues to do this meeting? There you go. Well, there is our point of contact. If the they announced that the work was done, only time inventory was, the work, the community was done on the site. You have the business, you have them on the site, so we go. One line of the county has an idea where second you have. So it's all issue. The history commission, the work of history commission is done primarily through committees. So that's how we function. So we don't get updates. I bet, yeah. So I'm allowed to. Oh, I mean, I've got staff since February. I think I'll be glad to send them to the other to them. She can send them out and say, yeah, I've got a long list of stuff to ask. Right. Follow since I'm new as well. So this African American History Inventory Committee is no longer in existence except for you, or how is that? How can we join? Some of us, I might have been or how is that? So you see, as of this day, and here's the final report, and here's the, yeah, begin forward. If you go to dissolve, you know, the things, the Confederate Legions Committee, and the things that I announced, I was chair and then to the committee. Our work was done, and this is just dissolved. So that's exactly what Phyllis did for the AAHI. Everything is done properly. The work goes on for the inventory, and we hope will continue for years. The work of the inventory committee, which was to the design, it's done. So it's done. It's done in 20 minutes.
Excuse me, this is Carol. Is there any way we can move the microphone? Because I'm like Elise and Esther, I do not know what we're talking about. I heard Subi talk, I have no idea what she's talking about. I think we're on the AAHI, but is there a microphone we can move to a better location? I'm just saying it's hard to hear. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
You're not going to be able to hear really anybody.
Should we all just move down and then?
Might be able to try this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what I was.
Carol, I'm gonna use my teacher voice. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's Mary.
This is Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
The discussion is about the African American History Inventory Committee. Is it dissolved or not? And the answer is that the committee work is done. The only thing that we'll be doing is if we have additions to the database, that I was going to act as an advisor and the contact person with the GMU teacher assistant to add to the current database. And the question's been asked, could the History Commission vet what I'm adding? And I said, certainly, I can do that. So that's what we've been discussing.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So the committee is dissolved, and we should be taken off the agenda. Right? Okay, I will do that. Okay, mine, sorry. Well, I'm going to do that. Okay.
Sylvia, at the end of the day, these ladies that are advisory positions now will still come to committee meetings as needed. They may wish to stay on as commissioners.
All right, I have one more question, and it's in terms of advocacy. We created a flyer to go out advertising. This was way back in April. We created a flyer to advertise the AHI database. Should we proceed with that? Should that happen in advocacy with advice from you all? Is that where that's not? All right, so we'll handle that in January.
Yeah, it may be that we do have a standing committee on ethnic and oral history, Esther. Perhaps that committee may take on an active role in helping to vet or helping to gather additional information. It simply do work by committees. We need a committee that address things to address needs. Working with Mary, maybe all history would be appropriate.
Cheryl, were you speaking to me? Did you say ethnic and oral history?
I was making work for you, Esther.
There, we will certainly support, but we're happy that Mary is going to be able to work with it. And I don't see that there's a lot for us to do if it comes in little piddles, you know.
Right,
As
exactly.
the information comes in, we'll help, we'll handle it.
Be a maintenance, it'll be a maintenance. Yes.
But my question, I heard someone say, what about the I cannot say the word, to promote? And are we doing something? I didn't hear that answer. Gretchen asked something.
That was Tammy, that was me. So
Oh.
we have a flyer that we created in April.
Mhm.
That's ready to go with the exception of the link to the database. We're waiting for the updated link.
This is Mary. Could you send us that flyer?
Absolutely.
Because we're hoping to meet with TMU shortly. And so we could get their blessing and everything on. That's right. Okay. But on the website, on the commission website, under the job, it does say that citizens can contact their commissioner that represents them. Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, we'll have to work out the logistics of exactly how we do this.
Cheryl,
Yes.
I have not consulted my members of the committee, so I'm not sure that this is work that they want to take on.
So, and so there really isn't, it was more a suggestion that if we needed a committee that looked at ethnic and oral history was a reasonable home or a focal point. It isn't necessarily a specific plan. And it was, as you just described in terms of support, you know, that would, that's sort of more what the role would be. Big.
Okay, thank you.
Phyllis was just pointing out that on the website, the instructions to the public are that if you have additional information to place onto the inventory to contact your local commissioner. And so, you know, this is something that we'll have to sort of work out as things emerge and whether or not there are more, how much more information there is to develop and
Thank you.
These are good questions. All right. Anything further? Can you just open my enormously outstanding and the support of Barbara. Yeah, she's a crazy idea. She was our son. Yes, the best things. Yes, here. Gretchen is not here, as far as I know, she didn't submit a report. Carol, do you have anything to, any comments about the semi-quincentennial?
You asked me something?
Do you have anything to add about the semi-centennial?
No, they're still organizing.
So Carol, the commission.
Speak up. I'm sorry, Subi, I can't hear you.
The commission has formally adopted the new 215. A while ago, because it is so difficult to say that Debbie didn't send it. Well done. They announced that as a state level quite a while ago, and it's never did it, you know. So we should look at that. It was pretty low, I said that, I didn't even try. So it makes sense behind it.
I've been doing it really good on that. All right, continuing on advocacy.
Okay. How's that?
Good.
Well, we haven't heard any great events to cover, although we should all be going to our, if we still have a holiday party to go to. I know some people here missed their party last Friday. And so go to your party and schmooze and tell everybody all about what we do. Our next task, cold winter evenings will be starting in on the 2022 annual report soon. So we'll be reaching out for updates from committees, and we've got the same wonderful A team in
Oh, yeah. What's our muscle? We're volatile.
So, well, you know, it's the committee, and we just certainly hope that the leaders of the 2021 will continue, because they did such a great job. That's all I have. Any questions?
All right. Mary, Martha, anybody else have any questions? Advocacy proceeding along?
Thanks for your hard work this year, especially in supporting the process.
Absolutely. Okay, markers and marker project and cemetery preservation, Mary. Teacher voice.
Teacher boys, first of all, those of you who like this, committee chair, let them use chair now, or marker, or not the history marker project, that's not a good, but cemetery. It's a two.
Mary, on the marker, is there anyone on your committee that is called to this one?
I will have suggestions to someone, which I'm not going to come out on a person, okay? But hopefully they will consider it. We do have a meeting this coming Tuesday, and it's virtual, so Laura, will you send out the, link to us and add, Bart vote? We'll be discussing the Merrifield, marker. I got a revised, text today, actually yesterday, I'm sorry, but yesterday. I will be doing a late night or early morning, sending out, as the vision chapter, suggested things to him. For example, he starts every sentence with George, referring to Merrifield. And let's say, we're working on that. So, again, Tuesday, December 13th, please notice we start at 7, not 7:30. And Tammy, you'll be joining us also? Yes. Tammy, any question to join us? I've been working with the applicant for the West family. I very carefully looked at the floodplain, or flood walls, maybe that's up to the effect, because it's on 400 Road, pretty much to take the marker. So we originally talked about trying to do 2 on the same night. That does not work out because one is James Bush, the West family cannot be there on the 13th. So we're just doing Merrifield. So the new chair will have to schedule a meeting with the market committee to look at how the application will have his source information that we will send out. Draft like this, but I will send it out just in case. Again. I have a large reminder for the new chair, full of forms and procedural information, contact people, all that. So they're the ones to do this. History marker project, Stephanie and Laura have been working on it. Do you have any progress on permission letters?
Stephanie, our dear Stephanie, just got back from her month-long honeymoon, and we're actually going to meet this week to discuss the letters. They've been approved at our DPD level.
Okay.
So they're, as soon as she gets back from the marriage, she's done the top meeting. Okay.
Reasonable letters. These are the letters that are going to the locations that the markers are being installed. This is the county markers. So there will be 6 of those. That would be reviewed, and my understanding is that about 4 of them are already completed.
Yeah.
In writing. Yeah. So again, back to the market committee, I'll be giving a list of the status of everything that we have. And what its progress is, and also the progress, I heard yesterday that one of the progress has been taken care of, and that's been done on that side. So I can pass that on. Cemetery committee, you all are welcome to come to the laying ceremonies. These are 2 African American cemeteries. They're both planned for Saturday, December 17th. The sons and daughters, Liberty on Woodland Road, or Pine Ridge Park, Athletic Fields is at 11 a.m. and the Germantown Cemetery, which is in the heart of Fairfax City, is at 2 p.m. Working with Eagle Scout, he will be doing more at Sons and Daughters. There's not a map of the village there, so he's going to be working on a map and some brush video, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll be scheduling a market cleanup as a public church cemetery this week. They requested cemetery association. Really excited about the consortium. We're getting requests from other groups to join the cemetery consortium. And so we are up to, I think we're up to 89 different localities. We all agree to call more than 2, but some don't have companies. We asked. So, so we're still at the formation stage. Just as to, you know, what is it we can do besides sharing with each other and answering questions, etc. And MOA is still out for the cemetery group. And he's saying, we're so close.
From the Planetary Director.
Oh, good. Okay. So we'll get those on. And thank you all. This was, I have to say that I enjoyed being here. We do not disappear. And thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you, Mary. Yeah. And then you have a notebook with all of that information. Just amazing. Thank you. Also, I just want to follow up. There is a meeting that we have with RA and that. Yes, 21st, that they requested that they need a report update on where we are from July to September. It's 10 of yeah, we'll get you the right. Okay, thank you. Who else in the final comment on one of the Mary Stephen? Don't know if you're aware. Mary Stephen is storyboard also for the Germantown Cemetery. Just a little text thing. I just wanted to, you know, if they're really excited about it, it's something like that she's going to do after she retires. But well, it's on my list. It's all, you know, but it's really appreciated. So I just wanted to share with you. I mean, that's a view. That's the news guys. But it's fascinating. So absolutely so much fun. I will be on the edge all later. Very so much. Sometimes we learn how much we don't know. That's the same thing. All right, Esther.
Okay. The Ethnic and Oral History Committee had a meeting scheduled, and 4 or 5 of us showed up. It seems we need a different meeting date and time. So I'm looking for that day in the middle of the week in the daytime to consider for a meeting. We had discussions on what to do next, our future projects, working with the citizens of Fairfax County. so that they would take the oral history interviews. So we're glad to see Subi back. She's been our world traveler, so we've missed her. And we have other members that can't meet on the day that we try to meet. And then if we try a Tuesday, there's another conflict. So we need to find a meeting day. And I will be contacting each of the members. Thank you.
Esther, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I saw Kate Hanley yesterday at the government center.
Okay.
She wanted a copy of her oral history interview. I had just gotten an email yesterday morning from Pam Gardner with a link in it. So
Yes,
had
I saw that.
I connected that with Kate. So Kate is now fully aware and can watch.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, and you know what? One other thing, Naomi still wants to be interviewed.
I am seeking the interview dates in this month, which is a hard month to schedule. So I'm getting with Pam to find those dates. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther.
Yes.
Moving on to resident curator program, I don't think Bob ever joined us. Okay. Sure.
So remember the note that Laura sent all of us about Trimmer Farm? I went last Saturday. 3 pancakes, guys. She said, the Trimmer Farm is an amazing property over in Great Falls. And it ended up being the most providential meeting I could have gone to. I ended up being interviewed by somebody from the Connection newspaper who was promised that from here on out, advocacy lady, that anything we want to have promoted, we go through Mersha. Mersha is sort of her name, a lovely lady, and has offered to really help promote the History Commission this year. So that was wonderful. I also got to meet Carol. Do you know a guy named Bill Harris?
I was on mute. Bill who?
Great Falls Citizen Association.
Probably. I didn't get his last name, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I've met him and he wants to keep in touch too with what's going on with the commission. He had not heard a whole lot about it. So anyway, it's a good to get out and do those kinds of things. That's it.
All right, thank you. Bylaws, and I'm gonna make work for you at some point. Oops. AOP, which says already, just how the report.
Last say one thing, Elise and I did not connect them this yet, but the ARB as well as the history commission was surprised that Dunbar School is going to be demolished, not turned this over for off the inventory. So I'm trying to pursue this and can't find out why and how and who in the schools made that decision. And I'd like to know what the process is and what rules are in place for something to come off the inventory, because I can't quite find it. So is that on your radar?
Yeah.
We will talk, yeah.
Yeah, somebody out there and say that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
see, tomorrow did not take it off the inventory. Because we do have tomorrow.
Correct. We've been talking about not having it demolished.
But that's it.
Somebody want us to take pictures before it's demolished? Well, you know, when it's a county-owned asset, it's demolished something on the inventory, their own inventory, when there's any number of ways they can show an example to the whole county how to.
It's after 3 years.
Exactly, this building. It's a shocking,
It's the 12.
it's a shocking thing to learn.
I think
I know, but there's people who else not done it. Because the school board is different, but it's, I mean, that's where you have to go, because they don't think about it. Do you think of the chair of the board of supervisors has any sway with, I mean, we work for the board of supervisors, and that's,
Well, the supervisor was supposed, or this.
Yeah, no, I know.
I
might see one of the school board members tomorrow, I was in a source open class.
yes.
So if I could get both of them at the same time, I would do that.
Well, that's another thing you see during this Christmas period, because you're going to these open house parties, and every school board member needs to be contacted on it. I mean, they're all very accessible, even though we don't work for them.
Yeah, sometime offline, we talk about the Clifton culture schools. That's a really, it's a sad, yes, it's infrastructure.
I think.
No, thank you for bringing that up, Sue. That's the only thing that we have is our voice system, and we should protect these things. And so if we are silent, it's gonna go. So,
Well, the neighbors were really surprised. I counted there were 3 community meetings, and Elise and I were both at the second, virtual. And we just said, wait a minute, what are you doing there? Yes. We'll answer these questions later. So the county planning commission, the supervisor person, people saying, there's something they were also. Yeah.
So is this the kind of thing that you will, that you alert, like, that's good?
Well, I managed to WFDA school.
Yeah.
Dunmore, Fairview, and Burke Elementary. They're cookie cutter schools. They're all made by the WFDA. They're depression, so I mean, that adds to its history, yeah, absolutely.
can we have the nomination sent to all the district commissioners so that we have that in hand? I'd love to have that slot.
You can't let everyone go into the schools.
I think, it's always poor companies, it's someone in the second background, but I don't know think that. But it's a, we could do some research and find out if there was any finances. But at least the commission, I agree, to come out and say, that this is happening, with the community, and this is something that we want to know about.
We're trying to see 70 cases over 6 years.
How did you find out about this?
At that meeting, it was a public meeting, that the schools held, planning commissioner, supervisor's office, English notes, so, how they recognized and everything. And it was a bombshell, and neighbors said, what? That's a demolition, that's not the same thing. So they actually said, we weren't told. The school said, but it's our second meeting, we do tell you in the first, history designs, pick one. That's not quite the same as having a series of machines.
Take you down. Start property.
Yeah,
There's the property down, there is still.
it's on the Indian.
Yeah, the one that's.
So,
Cheryl, this is Esther. We who are not in that room, we're not sure what's going on there. There's a lot of babble. You're talking and you're talking informally and it's not coming across.
Yes, I apologize. So we only have 2 microphones that are set up in this room, and they are hanging from the ceiling. Isn't that? And so whenever anybody, in order for you to hear us, we have to project. I'm basically shouting, and Mary and I are both using our public presentation projection voices.
I see, but there are several people talking and it's informal discussion that's going from one side to the other. It's not projecting. So what was that conversation about?
So Stu was prompted by the mention of Elise and the ARB. She remembered that she and Elise were recently at a school board meeting where it was revealed that John Loring School, instead of being repurposed, is being slated for demolition.
It was not a school board meeting, it was a community meeting.
Sorry, a community,
Not a local school, but
a community meeting about the John Loring School.
Thank you.
And it.
Hey, this is Carol speaking. This is Carol very quickly. Rest assured that Esther and I will be reading the minutes. Someone will read the minutes.
I'll do my best.
So the discussion back and forth was what, if anything, what, if anything, the commission should do or might be able to do in response to this, given that this is a historic building that was constructed during the 1930s by the WTA. And so that informal discussion, that back and forth that you were hearing, were just different ideas about how we might approach this.
So is a committee formed for that?
You know, at the moment, we were just talking about sort of just generally doing a little public awareness and some information gathering at informally.
Thank
you. Discussed. And Sue was just suggesting that perhaps next month it would be a formal agenda item.
yes.
All right.
Maybe we'll invite the designer of the new building to come and be in front of us and we'll share our opinions. Something like that. The school board not
So, you know, we might, you know, talk to our supervisors about this, find out more. And I don't have anything to report on the website. I don't, you know, David did not send me anything with regard to Fairfax City.
I'm also thinking about this. Let me tell you, his final weeks with the city of Fairfax just really challenged him. He did good here tonight if we've been done. And I'll let you tell some of these other stories, but some of the things that have been accomplished during his tenure as mayor have been significant. Absolutely significant. City of Fairfax at one time was an incredibly segregated city. Big days really worked very hard with a lot of passion to bridge those gaps and appropriate connections within the city. Really trying to get to the rest of the United States, the place of no man. So stay tuned and be ready to hear what all this kind of stuff is.
So then was just commenting about David leaving the position of mayor of Fairfax City and ending his service. Sorry, that was a very brief summary of what I'm saying. We're going to move on to announcements, and I'm going to start with Esther.
Are we at announcements?
Yep.
Is that what I heard, announcements?
Yep.
Okay. Is Bob Beach present? Bob Beach is not present? You cannot hear me?
No, Bob,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to talk for Bob and me then, because we've been working with the owner of a property in McLean called Little Ballantrae to get it onto the inventory. And we had a dendrochronology study of the house. And once we get that study back, we will get that house on the inventory. There is a house, Ballantrae, which is on the inventory. This is a smaller house, which is on the property, probably pre-Civil War. But we've done a dendrochronology study, and that was very interesting. So thank you.
Sounds good. Esther, do you have anything to announce?
I was asked to speak on the subject that I spoke on at the history conference, but because I am not joining crowds, it did not come to be. I offered the recording from the history conference and I didn't hear back from the person. So at least people are paying attention to what we're saying and presenting. Thank you. That's it.
Esther, can you hear me?
Yes.
Our conference is on our website. So you
Yes.
can refer people to see you on the website.
Yes, they wanted me to come speak.
In person. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Steve, are you still patiently waiting and listening? Do you have any announcements?
No, I have no announcements.
Thank you, Steve.
Say happy birthday, Steve.
Oh, happy
Happy birthday dear Steve. Love you 42.
All right, open the floor, Ann, do you have any announcements?
No.
Sally?
Yes, once again, Dunstan Hall, Fairfax, there's a Fairfax County Archaeology and Collections and Archaeology branch are going to be having a symposium, and I was advised by Mary that we need to front load this information because people get booked up really early, so I'm telling you now. On March 4th, there'll be a symposium at Dunstan Hall on the archaeology of cemeteries.
Oh, cool. Presenting.
Yeah.
Awesome. I just agreed today.
Sally, that's a Saturday.
That's
A
Saturday.
Sunday. You have time for that?
Yes, speaking of Dunstan Hall, I actually gave a talk there, last month on the 7th about the connections of Lewis Hurdle, the owner of Dunstan Hall, and Philadelphia. So very well received with the docents. Sally came and joined, so that was nice. Also, the Mount Vernon Regional Historical Society had this barbershop come and talk about McDonald's franchise in Fairfax County. Very well attended, 60 wow. Wow, he's phenomenal. Many people commented afterward that he needs to, write a short pamphlet on it or a book. We do have the capability to record it, but that's something to think about for the future because it's truly excellent.
You're also about purple color, pretty Willard Scott.
Willard Scott. I think we had videos of Willard Scott's. Oh my gosh, they were unbelievable.
I just want to thank you all. It's been a pleasure. I can't believe it's 17 years. People have come, people have gone, and we're all put up with this interrupting, and not always reaching out. So it's been a great almost everybody. And unfortunately, the young man who will take my student as the archaeology student, Kevin Raddick is he's here, but his company, the headquarters is in Atlanta, and he's down there for anyway. I wish you all more well. So, and I will get my report for 2022. And I told Elliot I will be reading what he says. I don't know if I can make any sense of it.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, thank you all, and thank you all of you that came. That was. I was thinking about the outcome, so I realized we can really humble for you. Believe it or not, I came like to be behind the scenes behind everything happening, but it was better. It's good. Thank you. That's what it's down to. And thank you. I'm still miss. I continue to work with those overall on Black Lives Matter, George Mason University. And kind of fun thing is students are writing these stories on families. And so I'm connecting with the descendants
I'm saying, do you know this is about them? And it's been really fun to explain, suddenly they're singing in pictures, and there is my that was my great grandmother, and it's been really exciting. Because Mary says now it's like, I know these names now, and so it means a lot more. And it's been wonderful to, because obviously the descendants are obviously going to be the primary work with them. But right now, they just don't know them. You know what I mean? So it's like, we do that role for a while, but it's just fun to be able to see that blossom. And so that's been really nice.
Okay, 2 things. First, on the 106, I attended the White House Summit on Native American Affairs, Tribal Relations last week, the Department of the Interior. Those of you who follow the core activities, there's something called MDC, which may be very difficult. They have their own process. They do not follow the regular Section 26 process. That has been rescinded, and they are now going through the regular 106 process. That was the announcement. I had several meetings with the undersecretary on the deals with permits. We haven't submitted it yet. So that's a major development in the area. Secondly, I want to thank Barbara, Phyllis, Emily, Barbara, for your service. It has been a pleasure to work with you, to serve with you. I apologize. You're also, and just you're still here, but maybe I'm excuse me. It's a pleasure. I apologize for not being as available for the last year as a judge of the two full-time grounds. Thank you for your membership. Thank you for your patience. You're my rabbi, yes. Thank you for being my rabbi. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. And let's stay in touch. And then to Cheryl, what else leaving from the administration right now? Thank you. Then thank you for accepting the coach championship. Cheryl, you make it phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And I don't know how you do this. Because I know you're also you are just useful. So thank you very much.
Go last, okay? I can't follow that White House one. I know. So all I was going to say is that the Historical Society of Fairfax County had a great program Monday. And we had a high school student talk about the open schoolhouse. Great presentation. She's getting a gold award. She's part of the Girl Scout Gold Award. So we had three other historical societies with us, and we weren't there today. It was really good. We also had a lot of good food, chicken and mac and cheese, and all the presidential holiday party of sorts. So we're going to have things like that more often. So next point.
And I have nothing to say except for, I'm really gonna miss you for, so you just better stick around. We'll have to. The good thing is, we can email all 4 of them at once.
Oh, yes.
So it's easy to know. Tell there are no rules that be wrong.
Sounds good to me. I don't.
Yes,
I want to thank all of you. It's been really a pleasure to work with you. I have learned so much. And I thought being a librarian all my life, I learned something new every day on my job. Just expanded my horizons. It's still there. So that's not for the minutes, Kathy. Oh, wow. Wow. What are you going to do? Well, we're going to go on show, we're going to do the research centers, Edwards Island, that we I think, oh, we're going to get back to that spot. Oh, well, you want to get back? Yes, I will do that. I will tell us. So being flying, are you going by when I'm going to Chile, to Santiago, from Santiago, then to flying us the chocolate flight to the bottom. You know, the Chile to here, quite a lot of those islands, and then we'll be the rest of the district. I hope you have a heavy coat. Several. Oh, excited. How long will you be there? On board the ship was 12 nights without any internet connection. Oh, we can for emergency use of practice. Several verses. I said my grant use estimates with the board of supervisors. I pushed the idea of having local district in the class. If I could do that, I would be in some of because some of the kids not learning anything about their local district. So if the district commission can figure the way, the school board, I'm being a retired teacher. I know it's difficult to have institutions in the So I'm saying, let's do some preschool first. I took the beginning like Appleton 3 years ago, had the same kids every year, but they stuck on the back and had a good time. And, you know, so I just put it up. You're about it, so I read about it, whatever. But it's just really important. The fourth grade, learning German history, and there's nothing that can talk about that. Really find it very helpful. So, but thank you. I'm so thank you. I'll pass it on. God decided to tell part of my story. But Anne did give me a plaque. Thank you so much. Little time, this is me. 64 real estate ball was I just telling Barbara before we met, called me to order that it was 15 years ago, the December meeting, that was my first district commission meeting. And I can't think, especially Barbara and Mary, who I worked with a lot at work. Your leadership and mentorship has really meant a lot to me, and I learned a ton from you. And I couldn't agree more that kids need more local history, and we need as many advocates as we can get on the doing it for our living side. We need folks who aren't doing it for a living to push for that. And it's how much it means to us that you guys get together and do this stuff. So appreciate all of your help. It really, I hope you know it really means a lot to us.
Okay. So unlike Amy, this is my fourth history commission meeting. So it's been a pleasure knowing you all for the past 4 months, and I'm very excited that you're staying on board to help us with the initiatives that have, you know, been so instrumental in moving along. And I'm excited to see what 2023 holds for the commission. Let's see where we're going. Let me know how I can help. Serve your social.
Yes,
I am, yes. Thank you. And, a master's of public policy, with specialty in environmental policy. So I'll be, in the spring working, I'm a part of the research center right now, George Mason. So I hope to continue to record the minutes and, connect George Mason and the activities that they're doing.
does that mean he's gonna want a raise? By the way, nobody's going to try until we take a photo. I'm just going to say that. I don't like that. We also have a toast. And it's let's remember to take a tear of that. Just three things I would like to go see. The first is, I know, and Esther, I know you remember because we came on around the same time, 22 years ago. And we were clueless as new commissioners. So what I would like to have those of you that are staying on do is think about being a buddy for one of our new commissioners, so we can begin to build some relationships and share some inside information so that people can have a different thought. So that's the first thing I say to you. Second thing is, and some of you were on the commission when the Norton Woodhouse Art Center was not, but it was put on the National Register. I was chair of the commission at that time. So I had an amazing thing happen this year. Actually, the art center that Irma Clifton and I had envisioned many years ago is now, as you don't know, an art center. I look at her plaque that's out there on it, just get tears in my eyes. I had the good fortune this year to bring a friend of mine that I graduated from high school with, who is also an artist. My friend David, was the we saw yesterday. He taught a sculpture class there a few weeks ago. So to see pieces of my life come full circle, from high school to the work here, to seeing that there's just a phenomenal workhouse art center, and there's so much in the future about that. It's pretty exciting. The last thing I wanted to do was share an ode to Cheryl. Yeah. So go with me, if you will, on this. Okay, Cheryl, stand up, stand up. That's for your last big moment, so you can get that picture. Okay. There once was a historian gal named Cheryl who provided relief to the Fairfax County History Commission when in peril. She would fall to her knees, keeping info from flying in the breeze, and so we were always able to jump over a barrel. As she always did her part, even staying awake in the dark, to make sure all was tidy and bright. The clever gal, creative too, and ever so bright, to the county she gave her all. So much so, it seemed like an art. Her memory is quite large. In meetings she attended, she let others stay in charge. But much to her dismay, the meetings could go on all day. So in the end, we were relieved to let her be our sarge. A kind lady is she, never afraid of a bug or a bee. Long hours she would work, often with nothing but coffee or her. And how the kids loved her in the wilds and country. Cheryl will be with us for quite a while, so we will often get to see her smile. But when the job must be done, she will always be the one who can do it all with pizzazz and style. Cheryl.
It has really been a huge pleasure working with all of you and being the chair. And actually, I'm kind of just sort of getting into the swing of it and starting to figure it out. And of course, it's just one thing too many. And so with reluctance, you know, of stepping down, but leaving it in good hands and looking forward to working with all of you. And grateful that Phyllis, Mary, and Barbara are willing to continue to share their wisdom and their insights and to continue to help us complete these projects. And these have been some really amazing projects that we have been working on and continuing in the last recent years. And so, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Yes, let's formally adjourn. Let's take the time. Formally adjourn our meeting. Martin Spider, Sparkling Grace. So you got red and white. So, and we're going to post it to the meeting. Oh, is it the color of the markers? Is that what color cider you got? The color of the markers? No. There's lots of cider. So I'm going to get some guy champagne across the markers.